We don't usually do the victim blaming thing around here, but we're going to have to make an exception for a Republican member of the Philadelphia City Council by the name of David O. Hi, this is Colin Flaherty. I'm the author of Don't Make the Black Kids Angry, the proprietor of this channel. And here we talk about black mob violence, black on white crime, black on Asian crime, all sorts of other black crime wildly out of proportion. And we do it without racism, without rancor, without apology. So last night in Philadelphia, a Republican city councilman was getting out of his car. Black guy comes up, does the old, do you have a nickel? Do you have a dime? Do you have a cigarette? Do you have a cell phone? Do you have directions? When he didn't smoke, he didn't need the money, he already had a cell phone and he knew where he was. So it was purely sizing him up. Next thing you know, this Republican city councilman, David O, is being stabbed and he's being rushed to the hospital in critical but stable condition, and they think he will make it. The guy has a wife and 4 kids, so we'll try to take it easy on him. First time we ran across on this channel Councilman David O was last year in Philadelphia. There were thousands of Asian people in the street having a protest against violence against Asians. I mean, the violence against Asians in Philadelphia is no different than violence against Asians in New York, Baltimore, San Francisco, Sacramento, Chicago, that we've documented over and over and over and over. Violence against Asians in this country is a black thing. Whether it's an Asian shopkeeper, whether it's a successful Asian businessman coming home from a casino, whether it's maybe an Indian family that has jewels in their house. Asian people in Philadelphia are targets. David O, and the way it works in Philadelphia is like all the big cities now, it's pure identity politics. So he's the only Asian member of the Philadelphia City Council, so everything Asian has to go through him. So all the black stuff goes through the black people, and whenever we need to blame some people for white racism, we just go to the white liberals on the Philadelphia City Council, and that pretty much rounds out the entire council. So they went to him and they said, "Hey, what's up with all this violence against Asians?" He goes, "Oh, we're going to have a meeting on this." That was it. That's all he did. Said he was going to have a meeting on it. Let's run through the story of what happened to David O last night. Then we're gonna cap the story with an even stranger tale in a minute.
The councilman at large, David O, was stabbed in the back tonight as he was leaving his car in the 5800 block of Thomas Avenue. He was rushed to Penn Presbyterian for care. He is in stable condition. Police are telling Action News this may have been a robbery attempt, but he was stabbed in the back. He is in stable condition right now. There is no word of any arrests. David O, Republican councilman at large, stabbed in the back tonight.
One of the first stories I ever did when I was writing about black mob violence was a story in Philadelphia. It was a story about Asian kids in South Philadelphia High School, a tiny minority, who every day were victims of threats, harassment, and beatings. They went to the black administrator, they went to the black superintendent of schools, they went to their black teachers, they went to the black security guards, and one after another they were told, you guys have to learn how to behave around black people because that's the only reason you're the victims of this horrific level of assault. That went on for years. David O, absent before, during, and after. The O family got kind of famous in the Philadelphia area because they were they had one of their family members in 1958. I'm pretty sure this was Philly. Was killed in a street robbery, and so right from the very beginning, the family said, "Listen, we want the life of our family member to be used as a symbol of reconciliation." And David O has picked up the cudgel on this, picked up the banner, and so he's been all about that his whole life. And they named the street after him, and the street is a symbol of black and Asian reconciliation in Philadelphia. I don't have any idea what that means. mean, their family was talking about forgiveness and all this other stuff. Okay, so if I go into your house, and I rob your house, I threaten your family, and I kill your dog, okay, you don't have to spend the rest, and I run away and get away, you don't have to spend the rest of your life totally obsessing on what good old Colin did in your house. But at the same time, if I come back into your house, you should know that something, bad is going to happen. You should be ready for it. So when I hear this reconciliation, I'm saying, well, I know maybe you and your family want to reconcile, but I don't hear anybody asking for forgiveness. I don't hear anybody saying, hey man, we're sorry about all the abuse Asian people get in Philadelphia every day. We're sorry about that. Documented it here many times. I don't hear anybody saying that. No, what I hear is black people saying how much they resent Asian business people. They resent their success. They resent these stores. They resent the fact that somehow somebody's giving Asian people something for nothing that they're not getting. Enormous amount of black on Asian racial resentment. And David O is blind to this. So now David O, who's got scales on his eyes, is getting out of his car, and some black guy comes up, and maybe David O thought because he was down with the cause was down with him. The dude with the knife didn't give a damn about David O or his cause or anything else. David O got stabbed. In the Chicago paper today, there's a really interesting story about forgiveness. You remember about a year ago, the mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, his son was outside talking on a cell phone. All of a sudden, a couple of the fellas came up, robbed him, beat him, stole a cell phone, made him like give out his cell code number. Well, they caught him. They caught the guys who did it. They tracked the phone to a pawn shop. The pawn shop tracked it to this guy tracked it to that guy. That guy was the robber. So he goes in front of a judge. And the judge says, I think I see a lot of good in you, so I'm just going to give you probation. Of course, guy goes, yeah, Your Honor, I apologize, man. I really apologize, man. I'm so sorry. Hey, man, sorry about that. My bad. Guy did the complete obsequious apology thing in court. Everybody bought it hook, line, and sinker. The guy walks out of court, is back to a life of crime and violence almost immediately. Reporter tracks him down in prison, in jail, where he is now for violence and drug dealing things, other charges. And he goes, hey, what's up with that? I thought you said you were going to turn your life around. He goes, hey man, why are you bothering me? I apologized for that. I thought that was behind me. So why are you bothering me? He was very indignant that anybody would come back and go, hey, I thought you were like doing the whole turning your life around, going to the seminary and going to work for NASA thing. And so when I see people like David O out there creating this fairy tale of reconciliation between black people and Asian people in Philadelphia, when the fact is Asian people are under relentless threats and violence in Philly, when I look at David O, I don't look at him as a victim, I look at him as an enabler. He's the one who's giving black people in Philly a pass. He's the one that goes to the council meetings and sees all this talk about white racism and black victimization, and he sits there knowing full well every single word is a lie. But he just sits there, nods his head. Listen, don't give me the Asian culture polite BS. It's not polite to say anything. That's BS. No, I understand that part of Asian culture about being polite. I also understand that some of the greatest warriors in the history of this planet, some of the greatest warrior cultures in the history of this planet come from Asia. They didn't get to be the greatest warrior by looking at people who are attacking them, threatening to exterminate them, and apologizing to them and asking for reconciliation for something they never did. So David O, I'm sorry you got stabbed, but I'm even sorrier that you are one of the people who are up there enabling this enormous level of criminality in Philadelphia. You're part of the problem because you're the one who sits on his hands, holds his tongue, just because you don't want to make the black kids angry.